introduce Darshan Parekh ji. As I had shared with each and every one of us, Darshan Parekh ji is not new to many people when I shared that he is going to take a session in Lassi Talk on my request, because I have a great respect for him when it comes to his passion. He is lawyer by profession, so I don't need to worry. मैं जिंदगी में हर जगह पंगे ले लेती हूँ, मैं उनको बोल देती हूँ कि I know since you are there, I can take all पंगास that I can afford. And though he says Gatika, मत कर, मत लेना, मैं I'll not be there to back up, but I know he'll be there always. So being a lawyer of High Court, he is an avid bird watcher, though not by trained ornithologist. But I still remember one of the best time of early morning getting up, apart from going school, the best time which I had in my life was getting ready to just wait for him to come. And he was so finally decked up in his army kind of color suit and camouflaging with the environment, and said, "Are you ready?" I said, "Okay," with his big camera and lenses. And we went towards the Nal Safari, Nal Sarovar Road. And that was the best bird sighting I did. I could then realize there are so many birds, and I think it was in 2016, 17. I presume 2016 or 7. So that was the best time which I had watching the birds around us. कि हमारे आसपास ही around 10 to 15 kilometers from where I stay, there are such beautiful birds in the farm. Munias we saw, and I remember seeing the common kingfisher, which is not very common here in Ahmedabad. And but he sees a good amount of birds being living in Nehru Nagar area, which is the heart of or in the core city area. And if you follow, I just wonder कि इतने सारे birds आपके आसपास आ कैसे जाते हैं. तो कहीं ना कहीं चुंबक तो है ही है इन लोगों के पास in the form of their camera and lenses to gather. And we realized I was the kind of person who always felt कि फोटो खींचने की क्या जरूरत है, कुछ चीज अपनी नजरों से देख लेते, बात खत्म हो गई बस यार. और I realized वो सिर्फ खट्टे अंगूर है, क्योंकि फोटो खींचनी आती नहीं है ना, इसलिए वो उनको लगता है कि नजरों से देख ले तो बहुत हो गया. क्योंकि कई बार कुछ चीजों को रिकॉर्ड करना उतना ही इम्पोर्टेंट है. एंड रिकॉर्ड इस तरह किया जाए कि हम नेचर को डिस्टर्ब ना करें. जो नेचर में एनवायरमेंट, जो नेचुरल एनवायरमेंट में जो भी एक्शन हो रहा है, उस एक्शन में इंटरफियर हुए बिना हाउ कैन वी डॉक्यूमेंट दैट एक्शन so that we can share this love, this passion, this learning to large number of people. And that is why photography is required. And that is where I say, yes, not necessarily need to have big lenses. You need to just understand the right technology, and you need to be so cool and calm with the nature that things you attract around you. So keeping that in mind, I requested Darshan Bhai that apart from being, again I'm saying, he's just not a lawyer, but he has, in whatever thing he does it to the core. And that is where today he has come with us to discuss on the topic camera and bird. So he has prepared a wonderful presentation. I'll repeat, I'll be sharing the presentation with every one of you. It is in PDF. He has said, Gitika, don't worry. Certain things might feel new because of the camera angle which we are talking about, but share the presentation with everyone so that everyone at present can focus on the learning the nuances which he's going to share. So over to you, Darshan Bhai.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. And Gitika talked about my wearing fatigues and all. And
today you are dressed one like that again. Yeah. Oh, lovely.
Purposefully, I decided to wear because this is the professional dress that I should be wearing for birds and all. So let's straightway go to our core subject and talk about quite a few things. You see, what I have done is I have put a lot of things into the PowerPoint presentation, which I have shared in PDF format. So easily it can be transferred and it can be stored on a phone or on a computer. And the intention is to give you an idea, and you can at leisure have a look at what all we are trying to uh, discuss or talk about. I am no expert. I have uh, been a student and I want to remain a student all throughout. I am not an ornithologist or an expert on birds. I am a mere bird watcher. Incidentally, I take photographs of birds so that it is very useful to me from the point of view of uh, understanding them or understanding their behavioral pattern or understanding why they are. I'm more interested in seeing the birds from the point of view of what are the differences and what are the basic uh, tenets of a particular bird in a particular manner. Why a female is different, why a male is different, why a juvenile is different, why a chick is, what kind of a chick is, and all those things. So that is my passion and my interest in this thing. So now let us first start with, as the subject which has been formulated, that camera and birds. So let's go to camera first. Uh, Camera, could we have the second slide, please?
Yes. I will do that. Just a moment. Just a moment, sir. Okay. Just give me a moment. I'll just okay. Share slide. I am looking. कहाँ गई मेरी वो? Just give me a moment again, please. Open with Google Chrome. All right, minimized. Kritika. I presume you have some this cameras also with you. You were trying.
Yes.
Okay. This is the camera and photography.
Yes.
And this is what you would like me to share with all. I hope it is visible to everyone.
Yes. Now, what is a camera is an issue we are talking about. Now, this is a basic camera which I inherited from my father, maybe which he must have bought 70 years old back.
Darshan bhai, I would like to stop share here because when your video comes very small on Facebook, so let people see. So I will start sharing once you you are not showing the camera and all.
No, I want to talk about this particular slide.
All right.
So that I'm in a position to. There are 4 or 5 slides where I would like to continue with the slide as well as the
all right.
Video. Though the this thing is very less. So let us talk about a camera, which is a what you call is a light tight, like airtight or watertight. This is a light tight box which has a lens, and a plate. There will be a plate which would be coming here, and that plate would be the what you call is the film. This is an old camera, film camera, not the digital camera as it presently are available. And you can see what happens is I'm sorry, this has stopped functioning over a period of time. So I'm not in a position to open the shutters. But what happens is that I'll show it from here. that this is a lens and there is a shutter here, and the film comes on the top of this, or the uh, uh, now the digital what you call is the sensor which is there here, and the light uh, passes through, and I'm opening the shutter so that you are in a position to see. The shutter is open. You can possibly see my finger from behind. I'm sorry, I should open the full shutter. I have opened the full shutter. So what happens is that the shutter opens, the light enters, and
I have not started the video.
image is recorded on the
Line.
film or the digital sensor. Now you can see, if you see here, you can see a mirror kind of a thing. This is where the image falls, and the image is then on, this is on the top of it, there is a prism. This is an SLR camera. There is a prism here, and from the prism, I am in a position to see it from this hole. And when I click, you can see that the mirror will go up, and the shutter will open, and the image will fall on the. You can see now you are in a position to see the back side of the camera, which is now open. You can see light. So the light will touch that, and the image will be captured, and the shutter will close. That is how the basic thing functions. So you have a light tight box, a lens, and a plate where the image will be recorded. Now the images are recorded on a digital camera. On a digital camera, there is no backside. You don't need to open it. You only open the side where you put the recording device, and digitally the this thing will be recorded on a chip. That's how things happen presently. So that is what a camera is. It allows light to enter, and you are in a position to sort of click a photograph. Next slide, please. Now here you can say that there is a sensor or a film here. Does everyone see the this thing?
Yeah, we can. And Darshan bhai, I remember my 8th standard or even 11th standard physics class.
Yes,
we were taught the use of lenses.
Yes, that is what science taught us at that point of time. So there is a sensor or a film here. The light comes and falls like this. So there is an angle of view, optical lens. You are seeing from here, and you see the mirror. From the mirror, you see through the lens, and the lens elements give you. And this is the focal length of the. So when one says 18 mm or 20 mm or 100 mm or 500 mm, this is the focal length from the point to the first point of lens, which is the refractive lens. That is where. Can we have the next slide, please? Now, depth of focus. So when one focuses on a camera on a subject, the camera will establish a plane of focus. So this much area is covered, this much area is covered, or this much is covered, or this much is covered, is an issue. So, and all those things which are falling within that particular distance would be in focus. And then only you are in a position to sort of get a clarity about the subject or the object that you are clicking. Next slide, please. Now, as you increase, this is the basic, as Gitika said, that in 7th, 8th standard basic physics, as the size of the lens reduces, openness of the lens reduces, the depth of field goes up. As it reduces or the lens becomes bigger and bigger, the depth of field goes down. Next slide, please. Now I have taken an illustrative proposition here. You can see that all the three, these are chestnut-bellied sandgrouse, all of them are in focus. There is a female, there is a chick, and the male, but all of them are in focus. Next slide, please. Here also everything is in focus. This is at my residence. The birds, the house, the trees in the front, everything is in focus. So depth of field is very large. Next. Here also all the birds are in focus. So the depth of field was good. Next, please. Now, this is a relevant proposition. Could you have the earlier slide where I have written something? This one, yes. As the depth of field is less, the object focused on it is in focus. The rest are identifiable, but not in sharp focus. Next slide. You can see that the first jackal is in focus. The rest can be identified, seen, everything, but they are not in sharp focus because the depth of field was less. Considering the lack of light, I had to keep the lens open. Next, please. Similarly, here, I could have focused in this particular place, but then I am not sure whether I would have got both in focus. So I concentrated on this, took it in focus, and this one, I said, all right, let it be just seen. Next, please. As the depth of field is very little, like if you open the shutter completely, like 1.4 or 1.8 or 2.8 or 4 or whatever, what will happen is that it will give a bokeh effect and the back of the object will become completely blurred. Next, please. So this is how it becomes. The greenery behind can be seen as a green blur. That's all. The bird is in focus. You can see that this leaf which is in front of it is also not in focus sufficiently. Next, please.
Here that there was entire green foliage behind, but since you have adjusted your focus, it became just pale green.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Here also you can see that everything in the background has gone completely. Only the bird is in focus and the rest of the things are out of focus. And the backside of it is completely blurred. So it's only a color, blue color, that's all. Next, please. So you focus on a person, you are setting your critical focus area on them. And as you move your aperture setting to a large numbers, you then start to increase how much in front or behind them will also be in focus, as I tried to explain to you. Next, please. Now, illustrative depth of focus chart. See, F4, between these two lines, everything will be in focus. If you go to 5.6, that is reduce the aperture size, then it will be this much. And if you go to f8, then it will be even more area would be covered. Next, please.
Yeah. Just a minute. Huh?
Now let's go to types of cameras.
My God.
This is a couple rangefinder camera. This seems to be a stereo camera. This is a Rolleiflex kind of a twin lens reflex camera. This is a bridge camera. This is an SLR. This also is an SLR. This also seems to be a couple rangefinder. Now, this is what a couple rangefinder camera is. You can see that the viewing is from this place and I am seeing from here. So I am not seeing through the lens which actually takes the photograph. I am not seeing through the lens. I am seeing through something else. But there is a small window here. You can see there is a small window here. This window and this window, these two windows will, and there is a prism, not prism, but a mirror inside, which mirror gives the image to this particular lens, as I see, and then both images are focused to give a so you have to remove the parallax and take a photograph. So there will be two dots. Those two dots you mix and match them, and then once they become one, you take a photograph which will be in focus. Next slide, please. Next slide, please.
I was mute, but I was trying to say that your love for photography has not started with the digital age, but it started with all the kind of different cameras that you have used during your life.
Yeah, it started when I was a child, and I got my first 35mm camera as I finished my 11th standard, that is SSC examination, and my journey has started. Though of course it was not an SLR, it was a parallax remove camera, and it had a bellow inside, and then of course I have done a lot of things. I don't know, progress or regress, but that's there. So I showed you the rangefinder camera. The next slide, please. There is a twin lens reflex camera. Two objective lenses. We saw the photograph where there is one lens up and there is another lens down. And viewfinder, you can see in the viewfinder like this, facing down, you see. And if you have seen the film Golmaal, in that film or Khoobsurat, either of the two, I'm not very sure. The hero's friend takes photographs with a twin lens reflex camera, which is Rolleiflex or Rolleicord or those kind of this thing. So next slide, please. These are informations made available for you to read at leisure. This is the kind of camera I'm talking. So there are two lenses. This is where this thing fits, the film fits behind this, and this is where you see from top of this place. Next, please. And ordinarily what happens is that when you see it from a single lens reflex camera, you are seeing through the lens itself. But in those two, you are not seeing through the lens itself. So the image may be slightly different or the composition may be slightly different. Now, I talked of the single lens reflect camera. I showed you the single lens. Then there are mirrorless cameras. Now these mirrorless cameras don't have a reflex mirror, but they have an optical viewfinder, and not an optical but an electronic viewfinder, which displays was the camera image sensor sees, and they may have a mechanical shutter, I don't know, but they are then this is a point and shoot camera. This is a point and shoot camera. This I had bought for my wife. It has become completely out of date because of a simple reason that the films are out of date.
I remember this camera now.
But when I went to Japan, and I was interested in photography, so my local friends who were into photography, they said that this camera is known as Bakachuno camera. Baka means
Bakachuno
camera.
Okay.
The reason was that Baka means a person who does not understand everything. And Chu means these cameras used to make a noise Chu when the film advances. So Baka Chu, no camera. It does everything on its own. You don't have to do anything. That is a point and shoot camera. No, we have come down too much. One more slide up, please. And there are breach cameras. Now these breach, I tried to show to you that this SLR, the lens could be removed. The breach cameras, you are not in a position to remove the lens. It is a fixed lens, but it has quite a few features of the SLR cameras. So that is where it is the this thing. Next, please. Now, the modern automatic SLR cameras have, whether it was film camera or the digital cameras, the cameras would focus automatically when pointed to an object with a focusing dot or one or more focusing squares in the lens as directed at the object. The camera automatically adjusts the aperture and the shutter speed setting considering the light available on the object focus. Now, I would like to show you here this dial. It is easier to show, so I would show this dial. This has the M, A, S, P and auto. Green is auto. Above there is program, so you can program it. S is speed priority, A is aperture priority, and M is fully manual. The focusing also could be manual or automatic. So you can put it on auto and everything would be decided by the small computer chip in the camera to tell you that this is how I'm going to take the photograph. Next, please. But you can use it I can use it, and I am using this in a semi-automatic mode where I use aperture priority. So I decide as to I want the aperture of 4 or 5 or 5.6 or 7.1 or 6.3 or 8 or 11 or 22, with whatever, and choose the film speed also. Films also had speed, in the sense that 100 mm film, 100 ISO film or lesser ISO film. So the coating, amount of coating was less. 1000 ISO, the coating would be much higher. So the light captured would be much better. So that thing has been replicated in the digital era also. So that is there, the ISO and the shutter speed. The shutter speed would mean the speed at which the shutter opens and closes. That is a shutter speed. So it says it starts from B, B means brief time. So you can keep the shutter open for a long time. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 would mean 1 second. 2 means 1.5 second. 3 would mean 1/3 second. Uh, as it goes on, 500 would mean 1/500th second, kind of a thing. So if you choose shutter speed as your priority, you fix shutter speed at say 1/125, and the aperture would be adjusted by the camera accordingly, considering the light available on the object. Next, please. Now I have given this glossary of words. I'm not going into this at this stage, later stage.
I will actually, as requested by Darshan Bhai, I'll be sharing this PDF file with the participants, and I'll be sure, so we can go in detail about law, because he has got quite in detail about the entire functioning of camera, and that is really appreciate. I mean, I really appreciate your effort, Darshan Bhai.
Now, before I go to the next slide, that is holding of a camera, I just want to talk about the, no, I don't, we don't need to go into the slides earlier. Holding of a camera, we can stop here for the time being. Many people take photographs with their mobile phones. It has become very easy to take photographs with mobile phones. But the mobile phone is more or less like a point and shoot camera. So you can hardly do many things or change settings and all those things. Plus, there is a limitation in the sense that, see, I use for my bird photography, this lens that I should.
Can I stop sharing, because otherwise your video is very small, and I would want everyone. Yeah,
we can minimize this for the time being.
I'll just stop the sharing so that people can focus on you.
Now this is a lens. This lens is a 80 mm to 400 mm. So from the place of the sensor to the main lens, the distance is either 80 mm or it could be up to 400 mm seamlessly. So it could be 105 or 81 or 82 or 85 or whatever. It will be useful to us for the purpose of reaching the object from quite a nearby place. Like I also use a prime lens, which you can see is 500 mm. So that will give me a much larger reach towards the objects which I want to shoot. So taking photographs with your mobile phones is not something which is inappropriate. It is just like a box camera or a point and shoot camera. It will give you some results if the object is nearby. Otherwise, it may be slightly wanting. We can go to the next slide, please.
I'll just share the screen.
No, just a moment. Just a moment. Let me just show the holding of the. Quite a few people I have been seeing hold the camera like this. This is not how you hold the camera. You hold the camera with a bottom support, either here or like that, or if it is not a big lens, like this, with this hand also giving a little support. This hand gives the major support. So your camera is completely supported and does not sort of go up or down, or it does not shake. Because most important thing is that when you want your photograph to be good, you want the camera to be stable. So holding the camera is also a very important part, and most of the people hold the camera like this. People, you know, they stand at an angle. You have to stand still, straight. You have to, you know, momentarily stop breathing also, so that you don't move when you are actually clicking. And you know, some people say take photograph like this, holding the cameras like this or this. I can understand that you are taking a vertical photo or a horizontal photo, but why on an angle? It reduces, unless it is absolutely necessary, you don't go to an angle in the holding of the camera. Now, can we go to the next slide, please?
Yes, please. I'll share the screen again.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, the kinds of photos that people, I'm not very much into general photography. So very little of what you call is landscapes are there, only once in a while. So landscapes. Next, please. This was recently when that iridescence happened in Ahmedabad, could be seen in Ahmedabad. So these photos were taken then.
Very perfect. Very nice shot of it. I'm sure someone will use it in their material as well.
Now, see, this is a very important photograph to my mind. I had gone, this is my friend's daughter and her husband. I had gone for the wedding of my friend's son, that is this girl's brother, and I had taken my camera, and I love taking portraits. So I am treating this as a portrait, and just see the expressions. I just told them to do whatever they want to do. Not concentrate on me or to the camera, just do whatever they want to do. And this is what has come out. And I feel that it has come out really well.
Yeah.
So next, please. Now, family photos, I don't need to tell you about family photos. The next. Now, spatial photos like flowers, insects, spots, and wildlife. Flowers, I have taken flowers. Then next, please. Insects. Now, this is a giant wood spider female. Here you can see there is a male.
In the corner.
At the corner. See how small the male is. And ordinarily, if he is not in a position to run away, then the female devours the male after copulating. So the male is so small, the female is so large. Next, please. Industrial and commercial photography. We are not into it. Now, this is a very important part. The earlier, yes. A good camera with good lens will give you good results to photographers of their efforts. However, it is the eye, brain, and the heart behind the eyepiece of the camera which makes the picture an ultimate piece of art. What is relevant is a composition that one makes, shows an eye for what will look great, and the dedication with which goes behind each and every frame clicked. Next, please. Mentally compose a frame when you see the scene. Place the camera at the right angle. Try to stand erect or sit down so that the body balance is maintained before taking a picture. A candid image is always a more attractive and enjoyable image than an image where subject has become conscious of the presence of the camera and the photographer. Next, please. Please remember that you will find subjects around you. your landscapes, family, children, people on the road, plants and birds around you, etc. I have recorded 36 species of birds in my colony in Ambawadi area in Ahmedabad. And most of my bird watching activities have been in or around the city of Ahmedabad, say around 100, 125 kilometers. Now, before we go into my journey with birds, let me give you my present, or I mean the latest thing that happened to me. That there is a small Parijatak plant which was there in the, which is there still there in the pot, and uh, a couple of Prinias, Ashiprinias.
Ashiprinias, I remember.
Yes, Ashiprinias came and started building a nest there. And they built a nest. I have recorded the whole process from 29th of July till 21st of August. Unfortunately, from 22nd of August, they stopped coming to the nest, most probably because the eggs were not fertilized, and they were not in a position to get the chicks. So they left, abandoned the nest, but I have recorded the whole this thing. So these are the small things which happen to you over a period of time when you get involved in this thing. Next slide, please.
I'll just share the screen again.
Yeah. This is very, very dear to me. I do not want to go into the earlier slides. Can we go to the next slides till I request you to? This is where we will start. You see, I started seeing birds. One day, these two birds came and sat in one of the vines at my residence, and they sat and sat and sat. They are juvenile Ashiprinias. There seems to be something very special about Ashiprinias in my life. So I sent the photos to my friend Manish, who taught me, or who brought me to birds, and he said that yes, these are juvenile Ashiprinias. Then next slide, please. And one day I saw, this is not the photograph of the bird that I saw, but I saw this kind of a bird in my garden. And I inquired with my friend Manish if an oriental whiteye is possible in our area. And he said, yes, it is possible. And that is how my journey started. Next, please. No, this is where next, one more slide up. Now just appreciate, no, next. Back then, till somebody would tell me that there is a bird here, I would not be able to see it. Even so often it would happen that even if somebody directs me to the bird, I will not be able to see. But now the things have changed in the sense that my concentration has changed, my eye to movements have changed, and all those things. So over a period of time, things have become different.
I know many a times, if we start showing the bird, आजू बाजू पूछते हैं कहाँ है, तब तक तो bird उड़ ही जाती है. So that is what happens with me many a times when I start observing and but I'm not good with cameras, I'm not able to click, but yes, I don't miss observing them around me.
Next, please. Now, this is what I always was a photographer. I used to do mainly portrait and macro photography, but then next slide. Bird watching rekindled my interest in photography, and it became necessary. this is very important, that bird watching is a very addictive hobby. And I have not been able to go out because of the pandemic. And I'm completely frustrated because of that, that I'm learning is continuous, and it is also very, if you don't go on refreshing, you tend to forget, because the names and the features are complicated. So one first tends to. So how to find out a bird from the field guide and identify it? I have a huge data bank of birds for future generations, and um, my the following photographs are in the wake of spreading awareness. And what has started happening is that so many people have started sending me for their own photos, or call me up that something like this I had seen, what is it and how.
Even you are in the process of documenting all the birds in Ahmedabad and around Ahmedabad, and even
I'm in
publishing.
yes, I'm in the process of compiling 149 species, which I have seen in Sanand area, where I have worked from 2011 till today for 9 years.
I remember our conversation when I shared with you that I have a spotted dove here in my garden and the neighboring area, and you got so excited. Ki, when can I come and sit there to just click a right photograph of the spotted dove?
Yeah, spotted doves are very rare so far as Ahmedabad is concerned.
Yes.
So what I have done is that I have given a brief idea about birds which live in different places, and then I have taken groups in which I have discussed photographs. So can we
Ji.
go to the peafowl male? Next, please. This is a rare sight. This came to my house. In fact, all the peafowl photographs are at my residence.
You're lucky that I'm feeling so jealous, and it's not jealousy, but it's more about I wish I can, because I have observed the entire family in my garden. You know, the female PN directing all the 4 chicks
Yes.
at a safer place from the snake, because
Yes.
I have snakes also in my gardens. And nicely, my dog Laika was, you can say, an audience to it. Without disturbing them, she allowed them to
Yes.
go.
Yes.
And such a beautiful, you can say, understanding even among the animal community. And that is more than anything which we can observe. I mean, even in case of humans. Yes.
Coexistence is an issue.
Very nice colors. So these are all in your house.
Yes, these are all either in the terrace or.
Beautiful scallops.
Now I have done this. These are inside my house.
ये क्या गुफ्तगू हो रही है यहाँ पे?
अब वो तो आप ज़्यादा पूछ सकेंगी उसको. You are the educationist, so you will be able to.
I mean, literally, I can see the male part scolding the female part.
I don't know.
This is beautiful. One of the things which I also enjoy seeing, yellow-footed green pigeon. But I don't see them lately, Darshan bhai.
No, they are very regular in our house. They are quite regular.
I am not observed in my garden almost now since like 12 to 16 months now.
They may come, they may not come. It all depends that if they go to a what you call is
I used to see 2 pairs here, but not anymore. Yeah, they are the ones who are always the
they
noisy
are very
ones.
loud. These are very
Very
loud.
noisy ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the purple sunbird,
Hmm.
which is often mistaken for a hummingbird.
Hmm.
We have no hummingbirds in India.
True. This is an eclipse? No, female.
No, this is a female. I have not put an eclipse here. I should have put an eclipse.
Male in eclipse. I do see now. And this is the time for the sunbird to see in eclipse.
Yes, yes.
Collared dove.
These are birds which are seen around my house. Of course, the photographs may not be always from around my house, like this is from the field.
Look, if I see these birds in my area, I still understand. But being in this center of the city, if you are able to spot them, I'm sure they would be coming specially to pay a visit to you.
We have lots of greenery in the sense that I have 3 fully grown mango trees and about there is one huge lemon tree, there is a billy tree, a jamun tree. We had a parijatak which died out of termite, and lots of like jui, jai, chameli, about 300 other plants, a borsali, and all those things. So this is a female coil, and this is a male which says kuhu. The black one is the male which says kuhu, and he sings, not the female.
Yes. Shikra, yeah, that also is.
This is a female with a catch in the feet.
This is also misunderstood by many as some another species than Shikra.
This is the male with the red eye.
Okay. The difference between male and female is the eye.
Mainly.
Okay.
The colors are also slightly different.
I'm trying to see the difference.
You see the collar here? The collar here is pinkish, whereas he is fully
Grayish. Okay. Because raptors are difficult to identify. I still find difficulty with raptors.
This is a kite.
House crow.
Very, very pretty bird, huh? A crow is a very pretty bird.
I find its silhouette very slim and trim.
Yes.
I've never seen a fat crow.
Yes.
Cowcull. Rose-winged parakeet.
This is a female without the ring.
Ring, yeah.
And the male has the ring.
Yes. And they are always in the groups.
There are quite a few birds which are in groups. There are quite a few birds which are individuals and remain individuals.
I have an Imbli capade, so there these parakeets come. This is house sparrow.
House sparrow female and male. Some of the photographs may repeat little later also.
Green bee eater. I get a lot of silver bills. I think most of us do notice silver bills.
Tree pie.
Tree pie, yeah. They also make very strong and vocal. They are very vocal.
Yeah.
Same, another very naughty ones and very talkative.
Yeah.
And very alert also. I realize warblers are very alert.
Wait here. Please wait here.
Yes.
This is a chick of this thing, jungle babbler. Can you see the eye? it is dark.
Huh.
It doesn't have a tail. And then go to the previous slide, the adult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has got a white ring.
The eye has changed, the ring, the tail has come. The beak also has become yellow. So when plumages change, or rather, as the age advances, the plumages change.
Mm-hmm. I like this one.
Coppersmith Barbet,
Yes.
beautiful colors.
And
Beautiful.
it really has got a good call also.
Yes.
Ibis,
Ibis,
Myna.
common myna, kabar, apni.
Very sharp, huh? If you look at
Yes.
them.
And
I-
they have 4 or 5 different calls.
Uh-huh. Is it? Why do they try to change their calls? Is it as per the specific situation?
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm. Rosy starling. These are the ones which make those figures on in the
Yes.
in the sky when they all
Yes,
fly
in the
together.
winging, yeah.
Hmm.
Overtures and all.
Hmm.
This is a female golden oriole.
Oriole, golden oriole. This only comes once in a year.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't see them so often. And I'm lucky that I might just see them once and then I don't see them again.
Now, these are all, we are talking about birds in the city. We have not gone beyond the city as yet. Just
But you find golden oriole in your place as well? Because
Yes.
in my area, I just see it once in a year. I don't see it so often.
I have in 2 years, I have not seen it. But
These are common Indian rodent. Male and female, right?
yeah, female and male. This is female oriental magpie robin and male.
I see them much on the I'm sure you have mango trees. That's why you get this flame-backed woodpecker.
Yeah, it came once.
Acha. We have this on our mango, perch on the mango bark especially. And then they started picking on my ball also. White-throated kingfisher. That's cute, the spotted owlet.
Yes.
They are very friendly in that sense. When it comes to spotted owlet, I found them very friendly and very easy to alarm and give a post to get clicked.
Quite a few birds are.
This is I love them. The way, especially Indian roller, when it flies.
It flies so beautifully, yes.
With the open wings.
Beautiful.
Eurasian roller also. Not seen this before. Sirkir Malkoha.
Malkoha. This is a very common, after the black kite, this is one of the most common of raptors.
We often see it on the highways, on the sites, if you look at the farms, and perching on the wire only.
Yes, like this.
Yes.
This is a tree pipit.
This is always misunderstood with the sparrow.
Yeah, most of the people just say this is a sparrow.
Yeah, it is misunderstood. Like
I have always found it like this, that whenever I go for this thing, people gather around and then they say, "Shu karo cho bhai?" Aha, ato chaklo jue cha. So they are all chaklas. All my cousins also make fun of me by calling me chakla wala.
Blue throat. I remember seeing this with you in the trip that we went together. The blue throat. Male and female. So these are the birds. We will be sharing the any questions that you specifically have for Darshan Bhai, because very nicely has documented all the birds. That would be a good help to each and every one of us to identify them just by going through this document, because many of these birds we would have seen are around us, but maybe sometimes fail to recognize by some of us, not all of us. But yes, this is again a beautiful thing when it comes to Indian cursor. And my God, I'm sure your book is going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward and waiting for printing of that book and you gifting me one. So for this session, specially, he has created this document. I had to tell him કે નીચે દર્શન પરીખ લખો તો ભાઈ તમે આમ જ બધાને ના આપો, તમારા નામ જોડે આપો, એટલે people will at least remember you when they go through it, rather than asking me કે ભાઈ કોણ હતા જે આટલું detailing માં કર્યું છે session માટે. But yes, awesome. Have you been to LRK?
Oh, I have been to LRK so many times. LRK is top place to go. This is in LRK.
I could guess that. That is why I asked. This is super. I have seen it for the first time. Short-toed lark.
The next one is also Hubara. That is also from.
These are all LRK pics. Nightjar, I see a lot of them in around Nal Sarovar also, and in the mountain. Have you seen this pallet scooper?
Yeah, pallet scopes I have seen so often.
Pallet scopes, okay, high altitude birds, okay, awesome. So these are all your shots.
Oh, I don't showcase anyone else's. I can't do that. I can't do piracy.
Great. So these are so many shrikes. I like to see this shrike particularly, bayback shrike. It's very often seen in the farmland around us. So super. I'll just stop the share, the screening, because there are so many things that you have added. There is no end to it. Any specific questions to Darshan Bhai? That would be great. You can raise your hand. I'll unmute you, because there are so many things that he has in his pitara, I always call him. And definitely we'll be sharing this document with every one of you. If you're not there in the Eco Warrior WhatsApp group, kindly just send me a hello. My phone number is 9824260880, so that I can share this PDF file with you. Any specific questions?
I saw one request from Preeti Ben that if I could explain aperture and shutter speed, etc. It's very difficult.
Do you want me to share one of the picture and explain that? I think
no, it is not possible. It is not possible because of a simple thing that these have been taken over a period of time, and the data, metadata would be not available either with the photographs or with me. So it may not be possible for me to say what was the aperture or shutter speed in that sense. Ordinarily, I have been clicking at the shutter speeds between 4 to 5.6, because I ordinarily use the 1.4 converter. So my the F place would be what you call is 5.6. Minimum aperture would be 5.6. So 5.6 to about 9, or sometimes only once in a while to 11, because now I have virtually stopped taking landscape, so that light issue does not arise. So maybe 9, and shutter speed would be, I prefer to take photographs at low ISO because there is lots of noise at high ISO. So I don't like to click them at high ISO. I mean, I have taken them at high ISO. You will see an Amur Falcon, which is taken at 5000 ISO. But then you can see lots of noise. One of the photographs there would show. Parambai wants to say something.
Yeah, in the chat.
Hello, sir. My name is Param Gajjar, and I am from Gandhinagar. And in the period of lockdown, I founded 46 pieces in front of my house. The question is कि मेरे घर के आगे इतने सारे बर्ड्स आते हैं, बट मेरे जो घर के आजू बाजू के लोग हैं वो सिर्फ समझते हैं कि जो पीजियन है, जो हमारे कॉमन जो बर्ड जो सब जगह पे दिखते हैं वही आते हैं. तो उनको बाकी के स्पीसीज के बारे में कैसे इंट्रोडक्शन दूं कि इस फोटोग्राफी और वीडियोग्राफी के बेस के ऊपर से एक अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करना चाहता हूँ, तो वो कैसे करूँ, उसके बारे में थोड़ा हेल्प चाहिए. थैंक्स सर.
जैसे कि मैंने किया है ये लाइक I'm sharing this my journey with birds. That's what is my PowerPoint presentation, which I share with people, so that very freely I share that particular document with everybody. That doesn't even have my name on it except in the title page, but still I share that so that I am in a position to. What you should do is that you should take photographs that these are different kinds of birds, different species of birds, more than 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 20. And once you start sharing with them the photographs, I have found that not only like the other day I was doing a program in Maharashtra Mandal, and most of the people were about 60, above 60, 65, 70, even 80. And they realized a very simple thing that, oh, we can see this at our own doorstep. It is possible to do that. And you don't require a big camera or a big lens or anything. You just require a binocular, which you can buy for 5,000 rupees. And then, so what you can do is that you can take your binocular to these people, show them the bird from the binocular, and they will slowly and gradually call children. The children will be the ambassadors to this particular aspect, and the children will take your message to their elders that yes, you have so many different kinds of birds.
Thank you, Param. I'm sure you are a good observer, and that is why you could observe so many birds around you. And at least you are trying to make an effort to create that awareness among your neighborhood, in your neighborhood as well. And as he suggested, start taking interest in the kids, I think. And I'm sure once the kids start observing it, they'll draw the attention to the parents also. Any other question? Because
Manoj Bhai Dhawan has asked a question as to what could be the best aperture to start with. There is nothing as best in that sense that this would be the best thing to do. It all depends on what kind of photography you are doing and what kind of pictures you are going to take, or what are going to be the objects that you are going to see. Now, I recollect one photograph that I took. My parents were standing in front of something. That something was quite far. I wanted my parents as well as the back of or the backside, everything in focus. So what I did was that I reduced my aperture. It was late evening, 6:30 in monsoon time. So light was quite bad in that sense. So what I did was that I reduced the aperture to 11 or something like that. And then I used a flash. So everything got into focus.
Focus.
So depending upon what kind of uh, picture you want to take, you have to decide as to. Of late, I have started realizing I used to do photography with a very clear cut understanding that I am going to do birds. So ordinarily, I would shoot at 4 or 5.6 or 6.3 or something like that. But of late, I have started realizing that that's not the bottom line. Bottom line could be higher also. So you go to 7.1 or 8 or 9 or 11, depending upon the situation at the given point of time to give a better result. The sharpness, the quality to get that particular thing.
Darshan
And
bhai, what actually I meant was to ask for the bird. I understand that at f8, at 11, generally it is a very good, aperture to be where you want, sharp focuses or sharp edges to be visible, as well as you want everything in the focus. So generally used in landscape and, doing general photography. But when you want to have a subject detailing, I think, you don't.
7.1, 6.3 or 7.1.
Okay, okay. So because
5.6, I'm not very happy
okay, because that sharpness
with.
start going up.
I'm not very happy with 5.6 that comes when 4, so that is 5.6. I'm not
Okay,
very happy with that. So I would prefer to go to 6.3 or 7.1 or 8, depending
okay,
upon the availability of the light.
okay.
And most of the times, birds available light is the only uh, kind
Source
of
of light.
source of light, excepting for birds like nightjars, which you see in the night also in
No,
the
I have
daytime.
tried sometime, I tried with, light painting also on the rocks. When, you have a twilight or, fading of the light at that time, I've tried, different things to do with the camera wherein, you can paint the light and keep it. So experimenting is something which
Most
is,
important thing, yes,
yeah.
you're absolutely right. Experimenting with things would take you much further.
Yeah, Acha, one thing more I wanted to know, which is a good place to get, lens checked up, because I think in my DSLR there is a certain, blur coming in between, or I think it has got disturbed while cleaning the lens.
What lens you have?
It's mine is a dynamic range lens. It came with the Nikon D90.
Go to Nikon Service Center near VS Hospital. There is a
Okay,
there is one gentleman, Mr. Mihir. Uh, Mihir is there, and I don't remember his surname, but Mihir is
okay,
there. Very
okay.
very professional people, and they do an excellent job.
Okay, fine. Have you tried this, macro photography, wherein you do close up of insects and other things? So, what kind of lens you suggest for that?
60 mm is a very good lens, Nikon
Okay,
60 mm
okay. But again, prime.
prime, 60 mm prime.
Okay,
No, I would put it this way: no zoom lens is a substitute for
a prime lens.
good prime lens or a reasonable prime lens. So
Okay,
100 mm macro or micro or 60 mm macro or micro, they are good lenses. I have I have a zoom lens which I bought in 1987, which
okay,
is macro at all levels.
okay,
But this is an out of date lens because it is not an automatic lens, and things have changed over a period of time.
yeah.
But still, it is macro. You can see it is a macro
Hmm.
here. There is a macro here. It
Yeah.
is across 70 mm to 210 mm macro. So it
Okay.
gives me excellent.
Range.
It has a problem of focusing because you
Yeah.
manual focusing. but it gives me exceptionally good range at
Hmm.
70 or 210 mm,
Okay.
or in between also.
Okay. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Bharti, what are you trying to say? Bharti?
Yeah, Bharti says, trying to say in the chat, a good camera, a thick forest, and a flock of birds. Can you give the priority to an amateur? Bharti ji, you can unmute yourself if you have any specific question, because I could read, but I could not understand what is your question here. Can you give the priority to an amateur? I mean, whom to prioritize? A good camera or thick forest and flock of birds? Whom to prioritize? To go for birds or buy a good camera?
I would say thick forest and birds would always have a priority over camera, because camera is just another uh, possession, prized possession. I bought the prime lens only because it was my dream to buy it. I don't know whether I really needed it or not. But
I think my son is not watching this, so good for me, because we
no,
always
I'm recording it, so I will forward it to him.
no, because he is always fighting with me, and he has got the best of the equipments and the lenses. Unfortunately, he's not at home, so I can't use any one of them. But it's okay. I don't know how to use also. So thank you so much, Preeti ji, for joining the session, and really, I hope you all had a good time in understanding the technicalities of the camera and the kind of efforts Darshan ji had invested in designing the whole thing. I see Devendra Bhai also today with us, Devendra Mehta ji also today with us. I see very new people today with us, so I can understand how actually those who are into photography would like to get the you can say advantage of the knowledge that you have. And any other specific question before we close for the day?
Gitika, you use the word knowledge. It's not knowledge, it's information. And
I always believe, Darshanji, it is more about the experiences. See, basically, I would instead of experiencing myself, I would like to learn from the experiences of the others, because
so one has information because of experiences.
So the kind of experiences you had and the trial and errors that you have done. Yes. So it's better to learn from the certain, you can say, instead of learning from your own failures initially and take so many years to reach this stage, it is smart enough to learn from the winnings of the people around us and
only thing is that it takes 10,000 photographs before which you can really start handling a big lens.
Is it?
Yeah, I bought a 150 500 mm Sigma lens attached to my D90 camera, and it took me nearly 7, 8, 10,000 clicks before which I was in a position to handle it.
I remember you buying a new lens in 2015 or 16?
15, I think.
In 2015, and you shared with me the excitement. And I felt like this is such a childlike excitement, and then I realized
that's what I said, that I bought it more out of a desire since childhood to own a prime lens. Then I'm really not sure whether it was necessary or not.
No, wise, but I still remember your excitement. It was really a childish excitement, and I enjoyed this. So I've just stopped the live streaming now. And if anyone has any questions, otherwise I would like to thank you on behalf of each and every one of us and the efforts that you have invested in the last 3 to 4 days, and immediately saying yes when I called you. I think it was Tuesday for the Friday session. So I'm sure Monday, and the kind of time you have invested. I will be sharing the link with everyone, and I'll be sharing the PDF file also. So those who are not into Eco Warrior Group, kindly just send me a hello on my WhatsApp number. Thank you so much. On this note, I take this pleasure that Lassie Talk, Learn, Act, Share, Inspire, episode 16. For the first time went into so much technical details, because we are also having a photo contest on I'm an Eco Warrior Facebook group, where, keeping that in mind, I requested Darshan Bhai that why don't you come and share, so that I can share with everyone the nuances of photography. And thank you so much on behalf of each and every Eco Warrior. I say goodbye to everyone, and have a wonderful night and beautiful dreams. Don't think of a camera. He's lucky to buy so many lenses. And I'm sure all of us will get lucky one day to have all these lenses, or we can always pounce upon his treasure, but I'm sure he will not allow that. Thank you so much, Darshan Bhai.
Thank you.
And Ananya, I can see you today also. So I'm sure you are there to support your father and feel proud of whatever he has done in his life, in the way he has shared. It's such a wonderful journey to know him so well. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yeah,
Didi
Ananya.
Aunty, hi.
Hi,
We are both
beta.
here. Both me and mom are here. And
Arey wah. Arey wah. Say, convey my hello to your mom. It's been long time. But yes,
yeah.
we'll catch
How
up
are
once.
you? Thank you. Thank you for
I think it was
hosting.
wonderful.
I think that it.
I always believe it gives a lot of value to the work of one of our family members, because कई बार हम देखते हैं कि क्यों इतना कुछ crazy है, क्यों इतनी lines के साथ, क्यों हमेशा photo खींचने के साथ. But once we go through such kind of structured journey of emotions, I'm sure the respect increases within the family members, which is a need in today's time. It's not about spending time together; it's about sharing that quality time and understanding each other.
Yes, yes, true.
So, Ananya, any words of for your father, how you have observed him being so passionate about clicking the ecosystem around him? What are your views on it?
So I myself am an eco warrior in one way, in a very little way, but whatever I am today is because of seeing him and mom, drive around their passion and think the way they think. I mean, ever since I was a kid, I was taught to bring back birds, and if they are hurt, if we find any injured animal, and I learned it from my father, and I still see him. The other day he very nicely went out, and there was a bird fallen on the floor, and he picked it up and made sure it was placed back to safety, and that bird eventually flew away. So over the years I've seen his enthusiasm, which has and his passion, which has definitely grown and evolved. That excitement that a child has, I think somewhere he still has it, and he's continuing to have that in each and every single endeavor of his, and it is very inspiring for me, and I hope I can do something, even if it's something around 10% of what he's doing right now. So I hope I can do something similar.
Thank you so much, Ananya. And I'm sure he, being such kind of photographer and a bird watcher, has got many good friends. And that's how I know him, and that's how I've got in touch with all of you.
Yes. Yes. I mean, he has wonderful friends. Like, he has amazing friends, and I think
अनन्या, होता ये कोर्ट में तो लड़ाई होती है तो दोस्त कम बनते हैं, दुश्मन ज्यादा बनते हैं, लेकिन कैमरा और फोटोग्राफी के चक्कर में दोस्त ज्यादा बन जाते हैं, लगता है.
Actually, पता नहीं, dad is a person, वो जहाँ जाता है he makes friends. So even at court he makes friends, even with his relatives he makes friends, even with people who talk about birds he makes friends. So I mean, it's so funny that whenever he comes to my campus, he ends up becoming friends with my batchmates, and all my friends think my parents are cooler than me. So, well, I mean, and there's nothing more that I can, really pitch in there. But yes, I mean, definitely my they do deserve that kind of credit, and they both are wonderful people with a wonderful set of friends who are all equally very inspiring and do very hard work and doing their fair share to help the world be a better place. So thank you so much for these talks, and thank you so much for hosting this platform. It is a wonderful platform that you are having.
Thank you so much, and good night, everyone.